Am I the a-hole for picking a revealing bridesmaid dress in order to get one of my bridesmaids to drop? So this has been a long thing coming. My soon-to-be husband has a sister, let's call her Mia. Now Mia and I do not click very well. I am polite, but I wouldn't say we are friends. I felt I was forced by his family to make her a bridesmaid or she will be sad. I am going to be blunt, Mia is fat and very insecure about it. This has led bridesmaid dresses shopping to be a nightmare. Never could find something she wants and all the other bridesmaids and me liking it. So I gave everyone 2 options to vote on. Option 1 was getting a dress that can be styled multiple ways, or picking from a collection so everyone matches but they will need to pay for it. Option 2 was I will buy everyone's dress but that I chose the dress and my decision is final. My 5 bridesmaids voted and option 2 won. So I picked out a blue strapless dress with a mini slit. I really like it and I knew Mia would have an issue with it. I sent a picture to all the bridesmaids and confirming the right size before I ordered it. This is where it blew up. Mia was pissed I picked a revealing dress. This resulted in an argument where she thinks I am a huge jerk and I told her she can step down if she has issues with the dress. She tried to get the family on her side but everyone knows I gave them options and had watched me struggle to find something everyone wants. Am I the a-hole for ruining Christmas and being upset the only gifts I got from my family were joke gifts? Some background, my family likes to play pranks with Christmas and birthday gifts, it's nothing new. I, 21, as well as my 5 siblings, from 29 to 37 years old, have all been pranked on our birthdays and on Christmas and usually it's 1 or 2 gifts. This Christmas though, I was the only person to get all joke gifts. For example, I unwrapped a MacBook from my brother, but when I opened it, it was just some chocolate, which I don't eat so I gave it away, and the MacBook was actually given to my sister inside a bag she wanted. Another gift was what I thought was a book I put on my Christmas list, but it was actually just the book cover put on a dictionary. When I asked my mom about the book, she told me she gave it to my sister-in-law. This went on with each present my siblings or parents had given me. AirPods was just a charger block? Adapter? Gift cards were used and had $0 balance, a card with Monopoly money, and so on, totaling to about 12 joke gifts. I realized I went out of my way to get everyone something they wanted or they'd like. I didn't get anything. At this point I was bummed so I went to the living room to watch TV with my boyfriend. At dinner they were all talking about how much they loved their gifts and when my dad asked why I hadn't said anything about mine, I said there wasn't much to say. Everyone but my boyfriend laughed and my mom said it was no big deal as everyone else also got some joke gifts. I told her every gift I got was a joke gift and that the ones they got was also followed by the real one. My dad told me I needed to relax as I'm making a big deal about it and I'd have next Christmas to get the stuff on my list. Not wanting to go back and forth, I told my boyfriend I wanted to leave and we can spend the rest of Christmas break with his family then go home. My family got mad and told me not to go and to just stay because it wasn't serious. I left and put my phone on Do Not Disturb during the drive and by the time we got to my boyfriend's parents' house, I had several missed calls and texts from them calling me names like ungrateful, sensitive, and childish. They said I ruined Christmas and made my parents upset 'cause I left. The next day, I exchanged and opened gifts with my boyfriend and his family and one of the gifts I had gotten was the book I wanted, the book my mom pretended to gift me. I posted it on my Instagram story and not even 0 minutes after posting it, my sister sent a screenshot of my story to the family group chat and they basically got mad at me for leaving and telling me I ruined Christmas over some presents. They told me I owe everyone, especially my parents, an apology because my mom spent New Year's sad because of my actions. Now I just want an outside party to tell me if I'm the a-hole here. Am I in the wrong for being upset about the gifts and for leaving? After reading their messages and sitting on this for a few days, I'm now feeling like maybe I was upset over nothing and need to apologize to them. Am I the a-hole for telling my mother-in-law that she isn't allowed to attend my son's funeral? Me and my husband, 28F and 30M, lost our son late last year, a week before Christmas. It was a tough time for us, and we went through what we thought was the end for us. Our son died, and we thought our world was going to end like any parents would think. For a bit of context, when my son was alive, his grandmother wanted nothing to do with him, because we didn't pick the name she wanted it to be. She didn't even send him a birthday card or come to visit us when we were in hospital when he was ill. She contacted me on NYD asking about the funeral, and I told her she wasn't allowed to attend, and if I saw her on the land where it was taking place I would have her removed. I told my husband this and he agreed with me. But I feel bad. But at the same time I don't. She wanted nothing to do with him when he was healthy. She wouldn't visit or give him birthday cards or even a Christmas card. Though when he fell ill we did inform her and she hung up on us. Now she's making me feel like a bad guy for not inviting her to a funeral of a child she wanted nothing to do with because of a simple name. She's never wanted anything to do with my son. She was a horrible mother to my husband, and even he gave me permission to say that. You may say I don't have a right, but she's never been a grandmother to our son. Me and my mother-in-law go further back than this. She didn't even attend my baby shower, which she was invited to. She was contacted by my mother, who has told her if she wanted to see the grave after the funeral, then my mother will go with her, and she's not allowed to put anything on the grave unless me or my husband have given her permission. Am I the a-hole for leaving my sister in the ER? I, 25F, have a sister, Melanie, 32F, who is a single parent to two kids, Leo 7M and Jake 3M. I found out through social media that Jake was sick and in the ER. I texted Melanie and asked if she was okay. Melanie explained that Jake was severely sick and would likely need to be admitted. The hospital he was in is 10 minutes away from my apartment. I asked her if she would like me to be there, and she said yes. I said I would go once I finished work. I work from home. I get there and she is explaining everything and gets a text from our mother, who is watching Leo so my sister can pay attention to Jake. Based on what my mom texted, my sister is freaking out. She says I need to go over there because that would be the most help. To explain, over there is at least 25 minutes away in another town. It's also rush hour, so it would be closer to 40 minutes to get there. I have a car that is hanging on for dear life, and I really try not to push it too far. I call my mom to try and get her side of the story, and she explains she used the wrong words describing the scenario. My sister gets on the phone and basically has a meltdown based on my mother's replies and Leo's replies. She says I need to go. I explain the car situation and offer to have my boyfriend go. We have been dating for 3 years, he's familiar with the family and both kids love him. She shuts that down. She asked me to watch Leo since he is sick as well, and she does not like our parents' parenting style. I explain that I cannot do that either because I have specific deadlines for my job. I get told I am selfish, and she is now yelling in front of the whole ER how she is asking one thing of me and her son is so sick, why can't I just do this for her? How I never watch the kids and I only think of myself. I have been diagnosed with PTSD due to childhood issues surrounding my sister, so this brought me back to a dark place. I said I can't, you have already ruined my life enough and good luck. I then walked out. I got a text that I need to step up as an aunt, and all I think about is myself. Am I being the a-hole?
Am I the a-hole for moving out and leaving my mother in a tough financial situation? A little background info. I moved back to my childhood home 5 years ago with my children and became my father's caretaker. My father died 10 months ago, leaving the house to me and the right to use it to my mother. My main income comes from renting out my apartments, 1 3-bedroom, where we lived before, and 2 1-bedroom, and after my dad's passing, I started working in a grocery store 3 days a week, 12 hours a day. After my father's death, my mother's reign started. She started constantly criticizing me and my kids, but in the most petty ways possible. I tried to de-escalate calmly these situations. I even asked her if she wanted us to move out, and I tried to find ways to coexist in peace. At the end of November there was a big snow, and my daughters 11 and 13 years old went out and played in the snow. Mom lost it on them, calling me and them every name in the book, and how we are lucky that she didn't throw us out to the streets. The reason? The snow was pretty, and they messed it up, and they would bring mud to the house. They didn't. They left their boots on the terrace. We had a big fight, and she claimed she wanted to be finally alone. We're noisy. We should be more grateful that we don't have to pay rent to her. I was like, okay, we're moving out. My tenants ended their lease in November in my big apartment. I just wanted to do some minor renovations before renting it out again, but I was like, F it, I can live with the stained old carpets for now, and we started to move back. I had to dip into my savings, and my kids got new furniture for Christmas, but it was worth it. We were even lucky with the school. My kids can go to the same class and friends they had to leave behind 5 years ago. The problem starts from here. Mom got a reality check today when she realized she can't afford that house. We use coal and gas for heating, and it's a big old house with old windows and no insulation in the brick walls, so the heating cost is high. I plan to renovate it in the spring, but after my income significantly dropped I can't afford it. Well, the gas bill arrived and it's 70% of her paycheck. She's on government assistance and has a part-time job. I was the one paying the bills and buying the food. She called me today morning and asked me to pay her bills. Of course, I refused. Then she wanted me to pay her rent, for what, in the end, she graciously offered to let us move back, but I refused that too. Well, she went around the family, and of course, they started calling me about it. Everyone wants me to do something. I was firm until the guilt sank in. So am I the a-hole?
Am I the a-hole for wanting to travel by myself because my boyfriend isn't into traveling and won't get a passport? I am an avid traveler and have been like this since I was little. I basically work to eat and travel. This is what makes me feel alive. When I 28F started going out with my boyfriend 28M of 3 years now, he was well aware of it. Since we were both quite young, and he wasn't working yet at the time, he was still a student, I thought it was okay that he wasn't really into it since he didn't have his own income yet. I started working before him so I had more financial freedom earlier on. So at first, we used to travel to nearby places to spend less, and I thought things would change when he finally started working. However, he has now been working for a couple of years and still will not even think of joining me on my longer trips. He doesn't have a passport, and whenever I bring this up, he says he will get it, but then he never does. At the same time, whenever I propose to him a trip overseas, he insists that I am being selfish because he earns less than me, so he doesn't have that financial freedom. While I do understand that everyone has their own priorities, so I cannot expect him to save up and use up all the money to travel if he is not that into it, I really want to do longer trips because it's what makes me happy, especially now that I am younger and have the energy to backpack. On top of this, he always puts it on the financial level, although I used to travel even when I was a student with a part-time job, so earning less than what he earns now. Please mind that we often go on holidays and short trips together during the year, where he doesn't have to spend much and doesn't need a passport. But in the summer, when I have more time off work, I was away for 1 whole month so that I could travel farther away. He insisted I was being selfish and that since we are a couple we should do holidays together. I hinted that I might do this again this summer, and he got annoyed again for the same reasons, which makes me feel horrible because I really want to spend a longer time away to be able to travel without having to rush back home after 2 weeks since I have the time and the money to do it, and he doesn't seem to be willing to come with me. So am I the a-hole here? Am I the a-hole for auditioning for the same role as my friend as a joke? I 24F am not an actor or work in the film industry. However, I have a friend 24F who is an actress and regularly auditions for a variety of roles, ranging from commercials to small parts. As someone who works a boring desk job, I always found her career exciting and supported her throughout. The other day she had an audition and I accompanied her for the first time as we had plans afterwards. I was waiting for her near the reception area when someone approached me. The guy asked if I was there for an audition and I said no, I was waiting for a friend. He asked me if I have any acting experience and I said no. He strongly encouraged me to audition for a particular role and told me a little about the production. I quickly realized that this was the same role my friend was applying to. I thought it would be hilarious to audition for the same part and tell her all about it. So I went for it. I didn't take it seriously at all. Half the time I was asking them questions due to sheer curiosity. The person who told me to audition was also at the casting call. Afterwards we met again and I told her everything. Although she was shocked and kept quizzing me about the man who encouraged me to audition, she eventually laughed it off. She joked that I probably blew them away with my acting chops and that I'd totally get the role. She even said that I didn't fit the look for the character, so I had little chance. Fast forward to the same evening. I got a call to say I got the role and genuinely thought it was a prank. However, it was legitimate. This single incident wrecked our friendship. She accused me of all sorts of things and called me untrustworthy, a snake, that I had relations with the casting directors and so much more. It's not like I stole some huge, breakthrough role either, it's some indie project, but the way she flamed was insane. The worst part was that she ended up making racist comments. For the record, I'm mixed Jamaican German and she's German French. The role requires a level of German fluency which we both have. She said that I was hired because I ticked more diversity boxes and made some other racially charged comments, including the fact the character I'm playing is fully white. I ended the friendship precisely because she showed an ugly racist side all of a sudden. To make things worse, many of her actor friends hate me now. She created this narrative where I play the villain and they all think I did this intentionally. I had to cut off lots of them and the few that remain just feel bad for me. One guy I met through her assured me that I did nothing wrong and to continue with this project if I find it fun. I'm not sure if I want to go ahead with this thing, I'm just so over it. I'd much rather go back to my desk job than deal with this drama already. However, I want to know. I am the a-hole here? Is she? Are we both?